My name's Emily Fraser, and I'm Carly in the film Closure.
My name's Jacob Stickles, and I'm Nate in the film Closure.
And this is Leo. Leo! Hi!
My
name's Leo
and
in
I
the film
play
Closure.
myself in the movie.
I mean, reading the script, it was heavy. It was the second thing I've ever worked on. And the first thing that I worked on was kind of light and more action-based. So reading through, I'm like, there's so many lines. This is a short? But it was cool because it was very different in the sense that it was emotional. And it came from a place, like reading through it, you could tell that there was experience in it. And that was cool. Right away, I'm like, I'm in. Yeah. You?
What was the question again? I'm so sorry. I was really
well. I answered the first part, which was like, when you first got the script and reading through it, like, what did it make you feel?
I could feel the emotion behind what was on the paper, which I don't get right away from a lot of like anything that I read, and I could feel right away that I had my work cut out for me. It was definitely a really fun, really collaborative project, which to me, collaboration with any group is like super important, and like to have the open collaboration was really cool. Where's it going with that?
It was emotional. It was intimidating reading it.
It was a very emotional script. It was actually also, I think also my most emotional script ever as well. Definitely the hardest piece I've done to date, for sure. For sure. It was really fun. I'm not an aggressive person, I will say that. Getting there was fun.
Yeah, it was a challenge.
Pierre taught me how to cry the day of filming, and we didn't even use it once. I remember that. He was.
Did you not use it?
No, we just cried for a solid 15 minutes before we started filming, and then I was like, that was good. Thanks.
It probably got you in it though. Like it got you in that headspace.
It definitely helped for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Matt was awesome to work with because when Jacob and I finally got together to run the script together, we were like, I don't know about this part. Like, I think maybe it would be smoother if we did it this way.
The collaboration.
And we got so pumped, you and I in the car. We're just like, this is the way it should be. And like,
this is how we should do it. Yeah, we just took
it was enough that like amped us up. And we called Matt, and right away he's like, let's meet up.
Let's do it. Yeah, we met for coffee immediately after calling him after that rehearsal.
And he was so game to hear us out. Like he wasn't super firm and like, nope, we're not changing a thing. I wrote it this way. This is the way it will be. He's like, hey, yeah, let's meet up. Let's chat, which I love. That made me feel more comfortable and like heard as an artist. And he did a really good job at making us all feel like contributing members of the project and not just like pawns in the game.
I agree 100%. That was exactly what I was trying to say with the open collaboration.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was perfect. You summarized it way better than I could have.
That's what I'm here for.
Always the brains in the relationship. Appreciated that.
Leo is, let's be honest. In such a short film, it summed it up so beautifully because we both got to say our piece. And I think a lot of relationships, you just walk away and it's like, whew, I don't have to deal with that person. They're out of my life. The weight is lifted, but it's not really lifted. It's there because there's still a misunderstanding. If something just blows up, there's a misunderstanding that just lingers in the air and it hangs there and you feel the weight of that. So for this couple to be forced to come together under unforeseen and unplanned circumstances and to have to like deal with it real time, you could have not blown up and just like walked away, grabbed the tire. I don't know how much I can give away.
I think this is getting released after you give it all.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So yeah, that could have just like fizzled out, but to stay in that awkward and just bleh it all out at each other, it's like, I feel like a lot of people can look at that and relate to maybe not having gone through that, but maybe wanting to have gone through that. You know, I can think of a person, you know who you are, no, I'm just kidding, that I would have loved that. I would have really loved that. It'd be scary as hell. But it would have been really cool to be like, hey, this is the way you treated me when we were together, and that wasn't cool. And then to hear what they had to say from that would be really interesting. Right? Yeah. What did it mean for you? Have you gone through anything like that?
Never, ever, actually, in my life.
No, I'm just poking. I'm just kidding.
Definitely. I'm not going to get into it, but around the same time, absolutely, for sure. I feel like the writer definitely had me in mind when he wrote this. Fantastic. Closure means so much to so many people. Sometimes you just don't get an answer, you know, and I think that can almost do more to a person than like having the argument, having the fight, like just up and leaving, and like not getting closure, not getting a reason, not knowing why, and just like thinking everything over a million times, and like feeling like you deserved an answer, you know. And I feel like in this short film we did just that. We delivered an answer on both sides, and you know, you don't always get to hear both sides either. Sometimes one person just spews and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ja, like so much, because there's no way I could have gotten to that point, to that level of not myself anymore, and completely embodying this new character who is definitely I would say more maybe dramatic than myself in the way that she kind of stuck up for herself. I definitely admired that, and the force at which I came at you with. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done that with those.
It didn't feel like it was you. It was good.
Pep talk, and she pulled me to the ground, and I remember in that moment just being like, "We're really doing this? Like, we're getting on the ground right now?" Like, and we like squatted together, and she just like it was the best pep talk. It was like, "You're this person, and you're mad at him. Like, this is what he's done to you." And when I stood back up, I pushed you with a lot more force. Like, it went from like, I'm pushing my friend Jacob. Yeah, you went flying.
Yeah, I had a couple steps. I lost my footing.
Yeah, exactly. It was cool. So to feel that switch was amazing. It was quite powerful. And yeah, Ja, thank you, because I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it without her. Yeah.
Actually, that is a really good point. Ja definitely was really good at getting us in the headspace for sure. The exercise.
What did she do, or why were you able to suddenly embody that space? What kind of stuff did she do in order for you to reach that?
Well, she made me yell a whole bunch. Which I started to get mildly annoyed, and then the yelling became real. More real than it was. Because I thought I was doing pretty good. So yeah. No, she did give a really good pep talk too. Like in one-on-one, like wanted me to get more mad. Wanted it to feel more believable, and it didn't feel believable. And I was just like, she basically said like, stop yelling, you're angry. So
yeah,
even though I did like yell, there was anger more so, which was really weird. Stop yelling, you're angry.
That's funny.
Right?
I think she did a really good job at pushing us to what we felt our limit was in character development. Like, no, I'm actually Emily, and this is as far as I go as an actor. Like, this is, I kept saying like, I'm not an actor, and she would like ignore me. She was like, no, you actually are. Like, do your job. You know, it was like, oh my God. But she pushed us past, I think, maybe I'm speaking like for both of us, but like further than we thought we could go. Like, she's like, we hit the line, and she's like, no, you're actually going over there, way over the line. So, and even in her exercises leading up, the neighbors must have thought we were nuts, because we were just doing these these yelling and grunting and these interesting body movements, and it was just like getting you to be silly and not actually you anymore. Like, you're not thinking about a lot of acting. From my very little experience, is you have to let go of how people are viewing you and just like be who you're supposed to be in that moment. And she was able to do that. I don't mind. You?
I got a couple. I really enjoyed this whole thing. I got a few scenes.
I know it's actually hard. I say yeah, but there's a few that I really like.
So in no particular order, because I'm just going to let us go back and forth on this. I feel like we got a few here. I'll just start with one. There's a scene in there where it's just like we're talking, but there's no audio, and it's just like our reactions. And for me, that's funny because nobody knows what we're talking about, and it's nasty. It's a nasty conversation. Just, whoa. I was trying really hard to see if I could break Emily, break her break character, and I feel like that didn't work out.
Oh, it worked. We were giggling.
We were giggling.
It was great.
That was good.
That was one of mine too.
The
montage around the table. Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, that was funny. Just saying as much as I could to try to get you to laugh.
Yeah, that was great.
Good.
That was really funny. And like the hand, whoever can read lips out there, go back to that scene. And I'm even curious as to like what actually made it in the cuts of what was said in those moments. Can you let us know, please, if you read lips?
Just don't add.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Maybe don't let us know. That was definitely one of mine. I loved that. That was, it was the end of the night. I was exhausted. When we watched the footage back, Matt was like, oh, you're tired. You look so tired. I was very tired. It was like 3 a.m. or whatever, maybe not that late. But yeah, so tired. But it worked for the scene. We had this was after crying. And after yelling and after all this energy was exerted, like real time, and then in the plot. So it worked out that we were kind of like giddy, red-eyed by the end of the night. I just loved how it all pieced together. And actually, like I had, this is just a random side story, but I had like a little nervous rash happening in my armpit.
Yes.
And you're such a good friend that you're like, hey, as a friend, I just want to let you know you got a little something happening in your armpit. And I'm like, aw, Jacob, you're such a good friend. It was such a special moment that I'm like, aw, we're there. We're there in our friendship.
I just wanted to,
I know, I appreciate that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just nervous. But it was great.
Yeah, I'm just nervous.
It was just the whole day, I guess. But yeah, the other one that really sticks out was the crying as you were like storming off, as I stormed back and came up the steps and look back at you, just the sadness and the color of that whole scene. It was so blue and dark and vulnerable, and it felt beautiful in the moment. And then watching it back, I'm like, holy, that's gorgeous. The colors and the emotion, and I had already cried a ton, so my eyes were just super watery, and I just loved that scene. It was like the pinnacle of emotion in the short that I feel just I was so nervous for it. I was so nervous for that scene that when it happened, it was like, we did that. It felt like so. I'm like, we're done now, and they're like, no, we have more to film. But yeah, it was a big one to kind of. That was the big mountain, and I felt like we were on the other side of it after that one.
There were so many I wish we were recording rehearsals because there were 2 rehearsals that we did that honestly my performance in the short compared to those 2 rehearsals was, let's just swap them, you know. There was so much.
Really, you think?
I do. There was 2 rehearsals that I was like, I really wish we would have been recording on this, because like I reached a level that I could feel it to the point where like I needed some time after rehearsals, man. After rehearsals, I was like, I just need a minute, because like I'm not an aggressive person, so like getting there is a lot.
Yeah, a lot of energy.
A lot. I have to go to some places, man. I think what makes a great actor is somebody who's able to make you forget you're watching a movie or watching the show. Who like...
From the audience side?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think if you can capture that, I feel like you're doing a really incredible job. I don't know if you're what standpoint you were trying to ask from, but that's my answer. It's like a good actor, in my opinion, is somebody who can make you forget you're watching something. How
do you know you're in that on the actor side?
Oh, I can tell you right now, I'm not there yet.
Well, that's cool though, to know that.
Yeah.
I'm not either.
I'm not there yet.
I got a lot of practice to do.
Yeah. Because like, I feel like, I mean, maybe I'm also bullshitting, but like there are scenes that I wish I could go back and like redo. Just for my own performance sake.
I think I don't know, it looks so good. I think you did a great job.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think you did pretty fucking fantastic yourself.
I think getting lost in the moment with you, like pushing you that first time and second time and third after the chat with Ja, that made it, I kind of forgot that anyone else existed, you know? For me, that tells me I'm on the right track.
Getting lost in it, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Getting lost in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like any art, you know, with sitting down when I did have the chance to do some editing with Mathieu Séguin.
Mathieu Séguin?
Had to. You know, I could spend days doing that. Like it just, and it's that getting lost in it, forgetting to eat or drink water or sleep. It definitely allowed for that. Being a small, tight-knit, comfortable crew. That's another reason I don't think I could have broken down the same way or cried as much. You know, like you were saying, having that moment with Pierre. If that wasn't Pierre, you know, could you have cried?
No, I do love Pierre.
Right? Like it's
true.
It's so unique and rare to have a team this, I think, to have a team this tight-knit with so much talent that are all game to work on things together. It's like this beautiful ball of energy that's just going to like burst. And I think that's where we're at right now. And you can feel it.
I'm about to burst.
We're gonna burst. It feels so good. It's just, it feels so good. Yeah. But that intimacy makes it what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like also like with the smaller crew, like there's a smaller production. There's like less lighting. There's less of everything. There's like, as somebody with ADHD, I'm just gonna be real, a lot less stimulating on a fucking small, intimate set with like just the friends, like the people you love being around, than there is like, I did background work in a Hallmark film, and like there's like lights and everybody's pissed and like people are running around and it's like deadlines, we're on money, and like there's no love on those sets, and it's very stimulating because like you hear it everywhere, and it's like you can't, everybody's offset for a reason getting into character, I feel, you know what I mean, like, and then it's like shut the fuck up, we're sending the actors in, like, I don't know, with the more tight-knit crew it's a lot less stimulating, and like it's a lot easier to like get yourself there, you know.
You nailed it. There's more love. Yeah, what the heck are we doing here?
Ladies first. If we're not doing it for money, then what am I here for? Take this off of me.
Just leave. Come back. being welcomed into this world by all of you, there's just no going back. And there's no world where working on something, we're not working on something doesn't exist. Did I just double negative that? We always have to be creating. And I've been an artist my whole life in other ways, painting and drawing and sculpting and writing music. So to find this new area where you can share kind of all those things happening at once, it's blown my mind. And there's so much joy. And in everyone on set, it's bringing, even though there are times of like a little bit more stress and, you know, the clock's ticking as far as like certain, you know, daylight and things like that, there's still a pressure. We all have each other's back, and we're all just as happy to be there and motivated to be there. And that environment is somewhere I just want to live in it. And when we create that, I'm speaking for like the team, but I love when Matt talks about like we have to always be working on something. That is just like, oh my, yeah, let's always be working on something. Let's always be creating, because I can't imagine not. I don't know, that's my answer to that. I can't imagine not. Now that I know that this way of creating exists and what the work that goes into it, I want my hands all up in it. My whole body, I just want to dive in and just be in our little creation soup that we've made.
Tell me more about your creation.
No, we're done on the soup. I can't go down that road.
Is it more of a soup or a stew?
It's kind of stewy. Yeah, it's got some thickness. Are you hungry or are you about to throw up?
Down with the thickness.
Okay, perfect. What about you?
What about me? No, I'm just kidding.
Who are you?
I've wanted to be an actor. Hold on.
Serious time.
I've wanted to be an actor ever since I was 6 years old. Small part of me feels like I was partially raised on television and movies. It's the only thing I ever actually enjoy doing at all. I feel the most like myself when I'm on set. Like I'm around my people. When I was in Nova Scotia, I had like a little indie crew that I worked with, and they were really tight, but you know, and I'm really thankful for what I got with them, but I really feel like I've like found my people, found so much fun.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah. The only reason I do this is because it's fun. Who doesn't want to play make-believe all the time? And storytelling's been a part of humanity since the dawn of time. You know? It's cool to be a part of it. It's cool to tell stories. Yeah.
Right away, I think of I would share the passion that went into not only writing the script, but the whole thing coming together. Yeah, the thought of every piece, you know, every piece of it was so thought out. Yeah,
a lot of really cool people worked really hard on this project. And like, it's not that we all just worked hard, we had fun doing it. And I feel like that really is that's gonna show in the final product, or that has shown. This is past tense, that has shown in the final product. Yeah, it's something I'm super proud of. I'm sure everybody else in this project would say that they are also super proud of I don't know if I should be looking directly into the camera or at you. Oh, that's not good. This entire thing is I'm just going to be looking at them, like, talking to me.
The passion, definitely.
Passion.
Definitely. Like, everybody who did it, like, loved what they were doing, for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really going to show.
It shows.
We need to, when we get this ball rolling, we need to hire somebody to just shoot behind the scenes footage.
So important.
Because, like, that's some of the funniest,
It is
like,
so silly.
I'm all about bits, and I feel like some of the best bits ever are behind the scenes. And
Yeah.
like, if you're gonna get to know anybody anyway, and you want to get to know anybody, that's like how you would do it. I'd say.
Every time I see this scene, when you're taking the picture off the wall, and like the behind the scenes of that is like duct tape. The amount of duct tape that was on that painting or picture to hold it on the wall, like Darby's there, like tape. She's taping so much but you made it look really smooth, or like the way it was shot, and it was very impressive. But I thought that was so funny.
We ended up switching it for that like space tape, didn't we? And that's what I'm not gonna say who put a hole in a wall, but that's how.
Well, this one was, for me anyways, it was completely, there was no script for it. There was no do this and then do this. We kind of like made up the room with what we had. Well, I guess, Matt did have a vision of me being laying back on the bed. So it was the overhead shot. But as far as like getting back up and like then looking in the mirror and then looking at you, was this dance. It was really cool. It was a level of physical acting, subtle physical acting that I had never done. And I liked that challenge a lot. It was a lot of fun. And then just making up this conversation, picturing someone on the other line and how my voice would sound talking to my boyfriend with my ex-boyfriend in the other room. It was a cool challenge. And I'm happy that I made Matt proud, because he didn't really see it until I kind of already mapped it out with the movement. With, I think, Shaw and Darby helped me kind of like flop on the bed and then roll a certain way and pop back up to make sure that it flowed. Yeah, and it's cool because that split screen, you're looking at us look at each other, but in the house, the way it's set up is that I'm actually looking at you. Like, he's in the bathroom right across the hall. So it's this beautiful symmetry, but knowing the layout of the house, it's actually very just gorgeous symmetry, and worked out really well. Yeah. Was it scripted for you? Did you they're like, do bathroom stuff?
No, so the interesting part was after yours was actually like figured out, we, for mine, because filmed separately, no two cameras, all one, you know. We had taken the beats of each of your movements, and like just timed what I did in the other room.
Cool, I didn't
to
know
the things
that
that he wanted done. So like the entire time, I'm not gonna lie, after I say my little, what are you doing? Oh my God. After I give that, the rest of the time I'm counting in my head. I kind of just blacked out into counting, and then just like did everything else.
Yeah, oh cool, okay. Matt was there counting for me, so that shows the trust in our timing.
He may have counted for me too, but I just remember like counting in my head as well, because I wasn't sure if he was gonna do it for me or not.
So, I mean, that just shows, right, how much thought, it's a short little scene, but in order to make it powerful, there's so much thought that goes behind it. And it flowed beautifully, and I think it all paid off.
Do it because you love it, not because you're expecting money. Because then there's, it shows when you're doing it for something else other than just the sheer want to do it. It really does show.
It's the passion, right?
It's the passion for sure.
And I'd say go for it, trust in your vision, but be open to all the minds that are showing up for you.